I'm Patrick Bailey with IQList.com. Today is March 7th, 2018, and in this video, I'm going to be going over a really neat 3D print, the Origami Carabiner by Charlie 1982, also slash DD3F3D. I can't even say it. I'll look it up. DDF3D.com. Boom. If you're new to 3D printing, like I am, this is one of the cool things you need to print, mostly because of the mystery of how does it work. So all this is 3D printed parts. It's just plastic, and yet it snaps really good. It snaps really well, just like a carabiner would, like you expect. Now it's plastic. You're not going to be mountain climbing with this. For the love of God, don't put your life on the hands of this. But for your backpack or for anything non-essential, it's kind of like a really cool clip. Now this one I've enlarged. This is 150% size, and that's what I printed out. But it's just really cool. I mean, it's just, I don't know, this is a really neat design showing what you can do with 3D print design if you think things through. And this guy really did. So let's go over what I got here. So first of all, here is the Thingiverse page. And so this happens to be, here's a link, and I'll put it in the show notes. This happens to be thing 1819242. And so I'm just going to download this right now and kind of show you what I did to get it all working with the Prusa i3 mk3 printer. That's the printer I'm using to 3D print this. And so in here he's got this is just fun. He's got all these cool pictures in here, and I think he also, there's a video in here that shows you how to assemble it and put it together, which I'm not going to go over here. You need to print this out, watch this video, and see how to assemble it yourself. It's really cool. Okay, so I'm going to go down here, click on Thing Files, and all it has is just two files. So I'm going to click on that, because it has two pieces that are in two different STL files. So I downloaded those, real easy, and now I've got them in my Downloads folder. And then since I am using the Prusa i3 mk3, I have got a really nice tool that the Prusa guys gave me, the Prusa Control, which I'm still new to this, but this, I guess, is I still need to learn more about the slicer. And so the slicer, basically, from my understanding, is you can give it an STL 3D printed 3D file, and it figures out how to slice it layer by layer and create the whole object. And then create the G code, because as far as 3D printers go, the 3D printer only understands G code. And now it's been a long time since I did G code. My background is actually went to school. My undergraduate was for mechanical engineering. I later went back and got a master's in computer science. But way back in the day, this is 25 years ago, I did hand code G code. It's not fresh in my mind at all. I need to go look at it and refresh my mind. But at the end of the day, this just makes G code. And I'm guessing, I'm still new, that all G code is not made alike per printer. So I think the slicer software figures out you can optimize it for your printer, I'm guessing. You know, what little tiny tweaks and adjustments do you need to do to make a print work really well for your printer? I imagine if I take G code out of this, that's created for the Prusa i3 mk3 and try to put it on a MakerBot, it might work, or it might just barf at me because there's some little nuances that are special adjustments. But anyway, I could, I guess, use the slicer software, which I have not used yet. I'm basically only using the Prusa Control, just because it's worked great so far, being a new person, and it's been rather easy. So here I am. I've opened up the Prusa Control, and I will go back to grab these files. And I'll show you exactly what I did. What I did for this print is I wanted to print a size that's 150% bigger. Now, I did print out some regular ones, and they worked out great, but I wanted to make a big one just because it was fun and cool. So I'm going to just take these and drop this over here. And there's that guy. Boom, and there's that guy. I just think this is cool. So all I did, in this case, is clicked on here, and I can go to the scale, and I just made it 150% of size. Kind of moved a little bit. Grabbed on this guy, made it 150% of size to match, and then I was hoping it would work, which it did. And I need to turn this a little bit to get out of the way So I kind of do a little number like this. And then I also turn brims on. This might be fine without brims. I printed small ones without brims, but I don't know. I've had some weird things go on, so I'm just kind of a little brim happy right now, especially with my first layer. So it doesn't take that much stuff, and it really secures it down more secure. So I've kind of been doing brims. And now with the smaller ones, I did a standard infill of 20%. Worked just fine. Now I thought with this bigger one, because there is some thing flexing in here and different things, I thought I was going to go a little denser just to make sure that my snap was really good. Because in my mind, the smaller infill you put in here, the less snap it should probably in theory have, because it's just not as thick. So I actually went down to 30% density. And then from there, it all looked good. Life was good, and I just hit generate and generated my code. Dun dun dun. Come on, get done. There we go. And then over here, this is really cool if you're new. I mean, you can see what every layer is going to do. So you can see the white part there is the extra brim it's going to print. But I can actually go through here and see what it's going to print layer by layer by clicking over here, which is just cool. And you can see there's the infill. And I can see what layer, you know, if I go to the side, I can see what layer is on. It's just, I don't know, it's really cool. Being a new person, I know people have probably been printing for a while and they're over it, but I'm not over it yet. It's really cool. Also, I haven't been doing this, but I probably need to start doing this, is to actually, is to actually save this file. So save the project, just because it's nice to look at later on. The good news I found out is you can actually, after you save your G-code, you can drop your G-code back in here and it'll show you layer by layer what it looks like, but it's not going to have the 3D model around it, so it's not quite as visually pleasing. But it's still nice to go look at the layers, because over here, if I'm printing it, I can go look at my printer and see, oh, it's at level 12.65, and I can go over here at 12.65 and kind of see what it's doing and kind of see how close it is to the end. Just fun. But anyway, so there it is. You know, it says it's going to print out in 4 hours and 38 minutes. For me, it typically takes longer. So here I'll just save that G-code, and I already saved this, but I'll just save it somewhere. But there we go. I'll just save that somewhere. And just to show you, if I go, let me go back. So now you really, I don't know, it's probably a good idea to save your project. I haven't been doing that. I've just been saving the G-code. But I probably should save my project so I can come back here real easily and see what's going on. But also, just to show you, let me wipe this out. I have, let me go open it. Let me open the one I actually did, which I didn't save the project, dummy me. But I do have, of course, the G-code. And if I dump just the, let me drag this in. So here is the G-code file that I used. If I just dump this in, it'll figure it out and load it. I won't see the 3D design around it, but I can see the layer by layer, which is still pretty helpful if you're going to review it. But then I can't change it again after the fact. I'd have to go start all over again, which is not the end of the world. But there you go. So you can see exactly what it's going to do, which is just cool. Okay, so now on to reviewing. I already made it, but I took a video of it, so I'm kind of going to do a little voiceover showing the actual process going along. Now I decided to see how much it would cost to create this and how much time it would take to create this. So here you can see, here's a really fast video I made, and I'll have a slower video later on, but I just want to kind of show this in the background as I'm doing this. I hooked up a watt meter to this, which I set at 10 cents per kilowatt. So just make it easier to anyone else to do the math on that. So total time, this took about 6 hours and 40 minutes for this 150% size with a 30% infill. Also for the cost, I had to go look up some stuff. So it turns out a 1 kilogram spool has about 333 meters in it, is what everyone estimates it to be, of PLA. And it turns out on this, I used 14.04 meters. And so basing that on one of my costs, the PLA guys I had were about 15 bucks a pop, but with taxes, I'm just kind of rounded up to $20. And that comes out to about 6 cents, 6 cents a meter. So all in all, it's about 90 cents worth of material. Then there's electricity cost. So electricity cost, as you can see over here, once I got to the end, it actually only cost me 4.8 cents worth of electricity, which I was kind of amazed on how hot this gets. And so you're feeding this room temperature filament in there, and you're heating up to this really hot temperature and having it go through. And I was kind of amazed that at the end of the day, even at 10 cents per kilowatt, it's taking 5 cents to run this thing for 7 hours. So in my mind, that seems pretty dirt cheap. So overall, the entire cost for this thing was 95 cents between electricity and materials. And the material, that doesn't seem super low to me. It seems okay. The electricity cost seems really low. And overall, 95 cents for the whole thing. That is really cool. So I am very, very stoked with the speed and the cost overall to make this big old carabiner. Okay, and just to show it one more time, here is the final product I got done. It's really cool and really fun. In fact, I had to make two. I had to make a black one because it's for my son. He likes Deadpool colors. So I kind of, end up mixing and matching. In fact, maybe I'll do that right now. But anyway, this was a really fun print. And I can see printing this out I actually printed out a bunch of carabiners for my father. They're just really cool. They're just a fun thing to see and actually see how, see how they work and see how they go in and just, I'm not going to do a real good close-up on this, but you can watch some of the videos and see how this goes in. It's pretty cool. But man, this was fun. This is a good one. Good one to impress other people. The fact that you can 3D print something like this, people don't realize that. But anyway, with that, I'll leave you with the rest of the video, and this is just going to be my normal time lapse. This will be my time lapse that I recorded, showing this entire thing being made at a slower speed than what I was doing before here. But hey, if you like watching 3D stuff print, which I do, it's a bit mesmerizing. Here's the rest of the print. hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we're doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.